Hello and welcome to this our coverage of the Bihar Assembly Phase 1, and the polling has been going on since morning, and we don't know whether it's going to cross last time's figures or no, but I would like to introduce the panel before we get into those discussions, starting off with Viraj Bab Naik, our cephalogist, Sajan Kumar, analyst from Delhi, Bihar, stroke Francis Bab Coelho, politician, political analyst. I think now he's in between roles, so as to say. Francis Bab, welcome to my show. And our chief reporter, Subhashish Bab Goekar. So, starting off, Viraj, give us an intro, then we'll go off directly to Sajan.
Today is the first phase of Bihar Assembly elections. 121 seats have gone for polling. Total candidates is 1314. And as of 3 p.m. the voting percentage is 53.77. Can we just have the voting percentage slide, please? Yeah, so voter turnout in the last 3 elections is on your screen. So from 52.7% in 2010, it has gone up to 2020. In 2020 it had gone up to 58.7, and as of 3 p.m. the voting percentage is 53.77. So I think most probably it will cross last election figures. 53.77 is a very healthy number. Now coming to the candidates. So major parties, RJD has 72 candidates in this phase, Congress has 24, JDU has 57, BJP has 48, and others constitute around 1113. Coming to last election data, can we have the seat slide, please? So if you look at last 3 elections, 2010 is when JDU was in an alliance with the BJP, and that election was a comprehensive win for them. In 2015, JDU changed alliance partners, went with RJD and the Congress, and they got majority as an alliance. RJD got 80 seats, whereas JDU got 71 seats, yet Nitish Kumar of the JDU was made the chief minister. In 2020, Nitish Kumar's JDU went with an alliance with the BJP, and they managed to get majority. JDU's seat share went down, it went to 43 seats from around 70 in the previous election, yet Nitish Kumar managed to hold on to his chief ministerial post. In between there were many flip-flops. He broke the alliance with the BJP, went with the RJD, and then came back with the BJP. That we've analyzed in the previous show. So as of 3 p.m. the voting percentage is 53.77, which is very healthy.
Yeah, thanks very much. Sajanji, from Bihar, what is the situation on ground in Bihar as of like for this first 121 seats, so as to say, in general, in fact, but starting off with the phase 1.
Yeah, the phase 1 is happening in part of Bihar, which is basically southern part of Bihar, which is popularly known as Magadh. It borders with Jharkhand. And then you have the western part bordering UP, which is also known as Bhojpur or Shahabad region, right? In 2020, you find that the Gathbandhan, that is RJD, Congress and Left Alliance, had done well in the first phase. And therefore, people were keenly watching how the Gathbandhan, that is opposition, is going to perform this time. Now, as per the ground scenario this time, there is anti-incumbency not just against RJD MLAs, but also against many of the left MLAs. Mind it, while Nitish Kumar government is there, but since the MLAs in these part, which is undergoing the first phase, has a substantial presence from the opposition, so many of them are facing anti-incumbency, and therefore, it would be difficult for them to retain the tally. 2, on the ground, you also find that Nitish Kumar, who in 2020 was facing some backlash within NDA, wherein Chirag Paswan's Lok Jan Shakti Party rebelled and contested outside and damaging NDA's, particularly Nitish Kumar's vote. This time it's consolidated, and on ground we also saw that in terms of caste and community variables, there is a secure vote of Nitish Kumar and NDA. 2, women in particular, like Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, etc., this time also are veering more towards JDU and BJP in these parts also. So therefore, as per the ground situation, you find that NDA is expected to perform better than 2020 precisely because its core vote is consolidated, scheme centric outreach to the elderly, to the women, and to other weaker sections is resonating. On the other hand, RJD and Congress have failed to capitalize on certain anti-incumbency issues around corruption, around unemployment, because Congress did not let RJD to dominate the issue by singularly driving election around the issue of SIR and vote theft, something which doesn't have a emotional connect on the ground in Bihar. It could have been one of the issue, but not the central plank. And the 2 months that Congress, employed around those narrative, and RJD had to follow those narrative. RJD failed to capitalize around the issues that were Bihar specific, and in those two issues, Nitish Kumar government launched a scheme, consolidated its vote, and as per the ground report, as we are speaking, it seems that NDA is performing better than 2020, which means if first phase goes NDA's way, then in the second phase, you have the demographic and gendered factor that is expected to favor the incumbent. And therefore, I think NDA is going to do better than 2020, which means better than the opposition. Yes.
To know one thing now, this is something that when we were speaking yesterday, also something we discussed, which is which is something that most of us analysts as well as journalists don't take into consideration. We look at anti-incumbency, we look at flip-flops, we look at age factor, we look at lot of age factor can be two phases, maybe like अरे ये मेरा last election है, vote for me, that sympathy can come. Also Nitish ji has got a image, because I think from all the politicians from Bihar, most of which are basically caste based, the Yadavs or the Bhumiyars or the Rajputs or XYZ, he has got a different type of an image, which is started off from his days as a socialist and a JP movement and all that, but even till today. So explain that a little bit to our viewers, because that is something that we on this side do not understand. Because it's different for us, because see, Bihar, I think the GDP of Bihar is 69k, which is, and Goa is 493, I think, almost.
Yes.
So that is something that people don't understand. And there are a lot of Biharis in Goa and the surrounding in West and East. So explain that
Yes.
to our viewers, including to our reporters and analysts here on our panel. Yeah, Sajjanji.
So let me give a context to the phenomenon of Nitish Kumar and why he remains indispensable and central to Bihar politics and policy, even after being in power for 2 decades, almost 20 years, right? This is precisely because we have to understand the context, economic context of Bihar. After the partition of Bihar and separation of Jharkhand, you have a landlocked state, that is Bihar, wherein the presence of industry and service sector is negligible, right? In 1990s, when rest of India was embracing market, and the world capital was being invested, whereby different states were taking off from their current position in 1990s, Bihar was caught into a reverse gear because of overemphasis on a model of social justice which was hostile to economic imagination. You can have social justice like in southern states, like in western state, but social justice is aligned with the economic aspiration. In Bihar, you had a leader, Lalu Prasad Party, who was full on rhetoric as far as social justice was concerned, but who was completely hostile when it came to take off the advantage that rest of India in southern and western part was going through. So one, Bihar missed the bus. Two, in 2000 when Jharkhand was separated, you lost the part, right, which was mineral rich, which could have attracted the corporate India to come invest and create new modes of opportunity. And thereby what was left for Bihar is an agrarian Bihar wherein the population density was more. Three, half of Bihar, northern part and the eastern part is inundated with flood for 4 months, right? So even agriculture is in a bad shape. So that leaves you a large chunk of population which is dependent upon the government, who tries to deliver in terms of welfare schemes, who delivers law and order, who gives you some avenue to start petty entrepreneurship, builds infrastructure, invests in education, tries to reach out to the weaker sections and women, and therefore what Bihar was desperately needing in 21st century, when rest of India was aiming to enter new millennium with a sort of confidence, when corporate India was trying to be the anchor of India's aspiration, Bihar was witnessing a decadence overall under RJD. So 2005 emergence of Nitish became a savior of Bihar. So if reference is rest of India, Bihar has not done much. But if reference is 1990 to 2005, 2005 was a phenomenal year, and Nitish Kumar was the agent of change, not just as a leader, but as a savior. Why? Because in a state wherein you do not have any incentive, to articulate your political choice and electoral choice beyond caste and community consideration, because you do not have economic imagination, right? In that backdrop, Nitish Kumar emerged as an exception. You think of Lalu Prasad Yadav and his son, the image comes of their being a caste leader. Of course, their caste is substantial, but yet they are caste leader. You think of many of the BJP leaders, immediately they would be identified. Samrat Chaudhary, Deputy CM, coming from another OBC Kushwaha caste. You think of Chirag Paswan, a captive vote bank of one Paswan Dalit community. Jitan Ammaji, another Dalit community. You think of Giriraj Singh, leaders of Bhumihars, and that way you can go on and on. But the moment you think of Nitish Kumar, first thing that comes to your mind is not his caste. His caste is merely 2.5%. It is basically the scheme that he is identified. So he remains the only leader. And here in comes the centrality and indispensability of Nitish Kumar. Why he remains the central figure despite 2 decades of being the chief minister? Because there is no other leader who is identified not by the caste or community identity, but by the schemes, welfare schemes, particularly meant for the women who constitute one half of electorates. And that is why you find in a state like Bihar, wherein you do not have much avenue, to think and articulate and diversify your alternative modes of political imagination beyond caste and community, because there are no basis for a landlocked state, Nitish Kumar emerges as an exception within the state. And that is why you find people may not be enthusiastic with Nitish Kumar, because people in Bihar are aware what is happening in rest of India. So aspiration is triggered, but it wants more. And Nitish may not be seen as catching the pace. But the point is, it's not about being happy, satisfied or not satisfied. It's about who do you trust? Who else is there to trust? Because there has to be a leader who should be identified beyond caste. And therein, Nitish still remains the central figure, and that you can call the Nitish trap of Bihar, right? Because he remains there. Yeah.
But yeah, fair. Sajanji, the issue is most of us wonder in analysis and otherwise that why is it that Nitish Kumar is so important to the BJP even though his figures are going down. Now you have explained this. Now this is something that our next panelist who was till very recently very strongly associated with Arvind Kejriwal and AAP, who were also masters at this type of politics, the giving the schemes and free electricity. Francis Babu, tell us now, this resonates with you, what he's talking about? See, Delhi is different, Goa is different, and Maharashtra is different, even to a certain extent Rajasthan you are different. Bihar is another ball game completely. 69k, this is something that quite a few Goans would spend in like a month. So is this Reudi, whatever culture, but one person who is, Bihar is known for caste politics. I think that Sajanji also will, everybody will, but this is something which is does it resonate with you? Does it make sense to you for your type of politics which you've been played for the past so many years?
I'll tell you something. See, this kind of politics makes more sense in Bihar actually, and he's right. It makes more sense in Bihar because Bihar is one of the most backward states.
Abject, total, I think the bottom.
Like, there are some figures over here, like they have 63% is EBC plus OBC. In Bihar is one of the only states where they have something called EBC, which is extremely backward class.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
36% are extremely backward class. If you don't give them any of these schemes or any of these subsidies, those people find it difficult to survive.
But still, caste is very strong.
In that kind of a scenario, they have to hold on to what they have, which is their caste. Their caste is the only thing that binds them together. Being, they identify with some group, they identify with some caste, they identify with some clan, and then they seek, some kind of, I don't know, they seek some kind of salvage in that caste. They say that, okay, हमारी बिरादरी के साथ हम जाएंगे तो, हमारा कुछ काम होगा, बिरादरी हमारे साथ रहेगी. So they try to be with their clan, because then they have to fall back on that clan for anything that happens to them. So caste in Bihar plays a very, very major role. Now what he is saying is correct. If you see Nitish Kumar's first 2-3 terms, the schemes that they rolled out and they implemented. A lot of other states, they roll out schemes, but they don't get implemented. For example, Gujarat is one very good example. The amount of implementation that happens in Gujarat is lesser, because half the Gujaratis are very, very well off.
They are economically well off.
So the schemes are there in Gujarat, but there are no people going and begging on the doorstep. Here, there are people who want the schemes, need the schemes, and the scheme reaches this. That's why Nitish was very, very popular. But in the last, 5 to 6, in the last term, that has reduced. It has reduced, and those schemes are not being implemented. The unemployment has reached epic proportions. The migration of Bihari people,
that's crazy.
That's gone to an extreme level. We saw the Chhath Puja. I thought we were in Bihar when we saw the Chhath Puja at Miramar. It was ridiculous.
It was crazy.
And those guys have a right to do their puja. I'm not saying they don't have a right, but the amount of people over here is surprising. When you see them en masse gather, then you realize that they are there, and they are there for a reason. They are there for employment. Because
why Goa? Maharashtra, Gujarat, everywhere they are there.
Yeah, Bangalore,
Karnataka.
The entire Bangalore city runs with Biharis. There are more Biharis than any other. UP has less people over there. So all of these facts are very, very important. But I don't, I tend to disagree with him. Like we were discussing, Viraj and me. Last time it was some 57% total polling.
Yes.
Okay. Now the 3 p.m. turnout is 53.77%.
Yes.
At 3 p.m. That means 4 hours more to go for polling. At 3 p.m.
What time is polling?
7 p.m.
Till 7. Oh, really? I thought
Polling is till 7 p.m. in Bihar, because the distances from the polling booth are very long.
Absolutely.
So they have kept it from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 12 hours.
That's another 3 hours.
Right? So
And after
3
work
hours
also.
more. So in 4 hours, this 53 I think can go to it can go to 60
plus.
More than 70% maybe. God knows.
70 I don't know, but possibly at least 60 plus.
60 plus. So that is something which is really, really shocking. Now this generally happens when there is some change about to happen.
Used to. Now we don't know. That Viraj, we've been discussing this often.
one thing also that he said that this entire campaign that Rahul Gandhi did with the vote chori
SIR
and all that is not something that resonates with the person to go to vote.
I agree and disagree also in some way.
But I think it has worked in this way, where
Especially
people
the
have come out with a vengeance to say, boss, you're trying to take my vote, I will come out and vote.
The elites and minorities, possibly
they have come out to vote just because of that. So that will not give them a reason to vote for Rahul or vote against Rahul or vote for Tejasvi or vote against Tejasvi.
Just to say that we are there.
But to say that we are there and our vote is there, they have come out to vote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that voter turnout can be just the vote
We'll have to see. We'll be there on 14th. We'll have to see that. Yeah. Subhashish, any incidents, anything happened, anything? Okay, Bihar is Bihar, so anything happened? Or morning when I was watching, when just started, there was some issue about EVMs. I don't know what is the.
Yeah, so
give us the
initially
general
when the polling began at 7 in the morning, there were a few incidents where the EVMs malfunctioned. So
malfunctioned. I thought it was EVM
so
capturing or something like that.
no. So usually they have the first test.
That is common today.
with the candidates. So they faced issues with the EVM machines, and there was an uproar, and people were like, they're probably doing the vote chori thing, because that has already gained a lot of traction.
Or is it only among politicians, people generally?
Yeah, because the way the Congress has done it in many ways has reached out to a lot of people, especially through social media. So there are memes about it now. So that does trickle down. So people always have that fear that if when the main institution responsible for getting your vote out there is now being targeted by a political party, obviously people have some doubts now. So again, that was something that happened earlier in the morning. Then you had a few incidents of scuffles happening here and there, but it wasn't anything major, not like something that we've seen that happened in West Bengal.
Okay.
West Bengal, we had proper fights and clashes between
Will
the
happen in a
parties.
few months because we'll be there in West Bengal.
Yeah. So as far as any violence or incidents in that sense, there wasn't anything. The polling happened relatively peaceful and there was no major incidents in that sort. There were allegations again between like parties, RJD, the BJP and Congress, putting allegations saying that this guy voted twice or this thing is not happening right, and some people were complaining of the facilities at the polling stations also.
Okay. Really? That's a good thing if they start complaining about these
Yeah,
things.
so usually there was no water in some places and people were they were standing in the hot sun and they expected some sort of refreshment or water. So yeah, apart from that it was relatively peaceful, no major incident.
Viraj, I'll bring you back a little later. I want to go back to Sajjan and just talk about these. Then you can come in as and when. Now, Sajjan ji, what Francis ji was talking about was that SIR and anti-incumbency, you must have heard. So what his point is, which I agree in a way, agree, disagree, but fear. See, minorities, the Dalits, especially the fear, we will lose our identity, because most times, especially in huge constituencies like in Bihar, only time they see the MLA and his people is during election time, at least where they have. Otherwise, it's not possible to even come 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. So could be that one of the reasons why the voting is come out, and that fear factor has been built up in these areas, you feel?
No, see, there are two aspects. You have poor people taking their votes more seriously than middle class. And that's not just about Bihar, it's a pan-Indian phenomenon. You see, their voting percentage is always higher than the middle class one. So Bihar, having a substantial poor demography, they tend to take their voting seriously. Now, what are the motivations? Is it because of entire SIR campaign? Now, here I have my reservations, because you have to see demographic sensibility. Tampering with demography is an issue in Bengal, is an issue in Assam, right? In states like Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, demographic sensibility is something which is settled, right? People are not bothered about, because it's a state where from you can be a skilled migrant, you can be a semi-skilled migrant, you can be a labor that is unskilled migrant, you migrate, right? And therefore this fear psychosis, something I am pretty sure will work in neighboring Bengal, will work in Assam. But you saw Jharkhand election 2024 December, BJP tried to make it around illegal Bangladeshis, Rohingyas, changing demography in tribal, and out of 28 tribal seats, except Chambai Soren, who defected from JMM, every seat was won by JMM. So which means that while this is an issue which people will talk about, this is not an emotional issue, right? Because why it's not the emotional issue? Because there are other issues that bothers the people in their everyday life, and therein comes bureaucratic harassment and corruption, the question of inflation, the problem of unemployment, and that is something that Tejasvi should have capitalized upon. You needed to make it Bihar centric, because of n number of issues which may compete with each other. The most crucial issues were something that they fear and bother in everyday life, something that Congress overemphasis on SIR, which they are doing in 10 other states along with Bihar, did not give enough opportunity for Bihar. This is one. Two, this time you may expect slightly more voting than 2020, also because, mind it, 2020 was fought in the context of COVID, right? That was it was a first phase of COVID was there, and then you had these elections. Now this time, besides its general ambience, you also have one factor which was considered to be a hype, that is Prashant Kishor Jan Suraj factor, which galvanized the voters by bringing issues, by going all berserk against every party and politician. But the moment it came about candidate factor, it dipped, because it did not invest into candidate. So while Prashant Kishor factor has taken a back seat, it has further politicized a state wherein people already are politicized and schemes matter, whether it has to be a desperate wish to see Tejasvi as CM by his core constituency, or it's a nostalgia that come what may, Nitish Kumar should be there. If he is not there, perhaps whatever little benefit is coming. So everyone has a motivation. So my only reservation is that yes, we are going to witness a slightly intensified voting more by the poor people. The reason primarily
That's my point.
is beyond SIR.
Also, the Jan Suraj, like Prashant Kishor, he knows the value of schemes because wo to Gujarat mein he was not an analyst. That time he was basically implementing and putting for the
Exactly.
Modi government when
Exactly.
PM was CM
Exactly.
at that time. So he is aware. No, more
Exactly.
than that, I think he's the one who has fought the Bihar election as Bihar. Like as in he's the one who has brought that employment, unemployment, migration, the so many years back, what was Bihar was last. After 20 years, including BJP, JDU, Bihar is still last. So all those things he has brought on to the forefront. Now, how effective is going to be?
So from
Either he's going to
exactly
get 0 seats.
So it's
or
more.
he's
So
going to get
Prashant
100 seats.
Kishor, yeah, he may get 0 seats. The point is, he succeeded in shifting the narrative from subsistence welfare schemes to politics of aspiration, and other party had to cater to that. Like Kejriwal, he brought universal welfareism just in Delhi, but he forced every party across India, to employ and adopt those issues. So that pressure
The
politics
BJP is
to that
probably
extent is
done
successful.
better than the BJP schemes probably are much more, 2-3 times more than what Kejriwal could even dream of. I mean, they can do it because they are in power. But look at what they have just gone everywhere with it. Women's, ye, wo. Yeah, Sajanji, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So free 125 unit of electricity is something that's the legacy of Kejriwal. So Aam Aadmi Party may have taken a hit in Delhi, may not see a possible revival in future, but its legacy is enduring in terms of its template being embraced and adopted by every party under the sun across India. To that extent, yes, Prashant Kishor is successful. I do not think his electoral fortune is many promising, because people may like you, but people in people's perception, if your winnability chances are less, they will not waste their vote. People want their votes to be utilized.
At least they can
So
say
that
like,
is why
I
many
voted for him, he won. At least you can say
exactly,
that.
exactly, and that is why I think we should not assess PK's success on the parameter of how many seats he wins or what is the percentage of votes he gets, but rather the issues that he brought to Bihar electoral narrative. That is something that is resonating, and other parties are trying to embrace that and become a better claimant of the pitch that Prashant Kishor championed.
See, actually, came to Goa, he didn't succeed too much. But I think Bihar, he has hit the nail on the head, because this is exactly what the Biharis want. One thing, see, the large amount of Biharis get out of Bihar. They go to different states, prosperous states. They are in west, south, which are very prosperous states compared to anywhere. They are very prosperous states. So they see that. So they say, this is something we've got here. Why can't we get it in Bihar? And maybe this was the thought inside. But PK brought it out and put it on everywhere. National media, everywhere he brought it. So that probably is, you're absolutely right. What are his chances? Before you leave us and go, I want to know this.
I think yes. I have another engagement, but the last point is that as far as PK and Jan Suraj is concerned, I think my assessment it would be less than 5%. Because Bihar has been witnessing around 2% of Nota votes. Mind it, Nota votes are quality votes. Nota votes are the votes of citizens who come out to vote but are not satisfied with either alternative. So we need to take Nota vote seriously. Maybe a couple of years by mistake they may press the button, but we have to take that. And 2% in Bihar is a good number because of the demography. And two, independent votes on an average in Bihar has been for the last 3-4 election cycle around 8%, right? So this time many of the ones who used to vote for independent will vote for Jan Suraj. So Jan Suraj is expected to get around a couple of 3 to 4% of the votes. Whether he can win any seat? I'm not very sure, because to win even one constituency, you need a concentrated vote percentage of 20+%, 20 to 25% in that constituency. So to that, but I think PK is aware about his bottom line, and in Hindi used to say, I'll be either arsh par, that is on the bottom, or arsh par at the zenith, or farsh par, that is the bottom. So I think his larger politics is to prepare for a post Nitish scenario in Bihar, wherein settled equation will go tipsy and turvy, and in that scenario he would be there. If he gets 8% of vote and 0 seat, he will be recognized as a state party with a symbol. I think that's difficult target at this juncture, because majority of votes are settled in the last moment. People do not want to waste their vote. But anyway, he is a household name, and you have 2.9 crore household in Bihar, and in every household, if you are a familiar name, you have earned your political and social capital, even if in this election you did not make a mark.
Which is in fact probably, if I don't know if he's going to get 8%, but if he gets anything above 5% and above, I think he's probably exceeded his expectations, because I don't think many people expect him to do that. But what do you feel?
That's a realistic.
Yeah, but what do you feel? The JDU, before you go, last question, will the JDU seats come down? Because JDU last time it was not that hot, so this time 25-30 seats is what we are thinking of this side. Will it reach those levels? Will he maintain his figures?
I think within NDA, JDU seat is going to increase. Whether it will be more than BJP? Yes, because last time, mind it, JDU had to fight both RJD as well as internal rebellion of
Paswan, BJP, yes.
Paswan, and on an average, Paswan got 24 lakh votes, which is overall 6%. But if you see on seats against JDU, it was 10 to 11%, which means 15 to 20,000 votes was splitted away from Nitish Kumar candidates, which is coming back this time. There is a chemistry and arithmetic, and that is why from 43 it has to be up for Nitish. Whether BJP can retain 74 seat or not, that's the question. JDU percentage is going to rise, that is for sure.
Thanks a lot, Sajanji. Hopefully, we'll see you on 14th. I don't know, but that we will have to still see. Thanks a lot, and you've given us a perspective on Bihar, which is a little different. And with this, we will go in for a short break, and we'll see you on the other side. Keep watching. Welcome back. Now, Viraj Bab, you've heard Sajanji, he's gone. He's gone. His prior commitments. He's actually with India today. So before we go into the details, what do you think? What is his logic? Now, you and me, we don't work like this, but I don't know. It makes sense in a way, which is something that we need to take into consideration, because these Revdi politics, which has been what do you say, Arvind Kejriwal's birth child, has been taken and polished by everybody. But originally this is JP politics, social welfare. Though Bihar is not maybe once upon a time Taxila, it's a very rich place, but normally the very, very rich economies do this type of welfare. You look at Scandinavia or wherever. But this is something that if you go to see, he's the only Bihari leader who talks this. Nobody else talks. No, BJP, Congress, nobody talks this. Not even the Indian BAP of socialism is the Congress. Not even them. Before you go into details, I just want something from you on this.
No, what he said is absolutely right. So, Nitish Kumar has been doing it, and if you look at the record, he's been the chief minister for almost 20 years, bearing a couple of small 2-year gaps. So So I
That's
think
a
it has-
break. He's taken a break.
Yeah. So I think it has worked for him. So he has, being the shrewd politician that he is, he has identified what works and implemented it.
It comes
Again,
natural to him, I think, this type of
again, you
politics,
have to also understand that when the state came to him, the level of Bihar was very low. I mean, economically, socially, and in all aspects. So he did some work, and that's another factor that has given him votes in the initial 2 elections. Now, post that, there were so many alliance changes and so many factors which changed. And because of these schemes and socialism that he's being implementing,
Some prominent
he
figures are
has
coming
been
on the screen.
able to hold on to his chief ministerial post. So let's go to some of the prominent candidates.
Okay,
that-
one sec. We'll just hold this prominent candidate. I want to ask you one question. Yeah, Viraj Bab, what I'm saying is that seats. He's saying last time it was 40 or
Yeah. So let's just have slide of vote share, please. So we can just have a look at
vote
that.
share, please.
Okay. So now let's just look at 2020. Let's not go into the other details. So what he was saying is the vote share of LJP. So LJP got 5.8% vote share in 2020. So that's a thin line there, but it is 5.8%. So this
That's overall. So he must have.
this 5.8% came only from half the number of seats, because LJP did not contest against the BJP. So essentially what this means is it is not 5.8 but double of that.
That's what I was saying.
So it is
12-13%.
11.6% of the seats that it contested. So that is quite a huge number, and
It's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge.
So that
it's like
is
a
the
state party, no?
yeah.
National,
So that is the reason Nitish Kumar's seat went down from 71 to 43. Now the point is whether this time around those that 11% will come back to Nitish Kumar or no, because it is 5 years have passed. Also, Jan Suraj is into the picture, so it might not necessarily come back to him. Also, another point is BJP got 74 seats in 2020. So whether they will be able to retain it.
He's saying the BJP probably seats could.
So
Sajan
if
is saying,
BJP seat
yeah.
come down to say 60, and even if Nitish Kumar
Nitish
manages
goes up to 70.
increase it to say 55, they might still be short of majority.
No. I don't think we're looking at majority. What we're saying is that from that 40,
Yeah.
it may.
It can go to 60 probably.
What
But
was
whether it
the-
will go to 80, I
What
do
was
not
the 2015 RJD?
2050 RJD was 80, JDU was 71.
That's what he's talking about. It could
Yeah.
go back to those figures.
Yeah.
Possibilities are there or difficult?
I think it is a little difficult considering JDU has been in power for a very long time. But at the same time, like he explained, RJD has not been able to capitalize on most of the negatives that are there in the current BR-centric thing. So that vote chori is happening or not happening. What can the electorate do? So why will it?
Fear factor.
Fear factor is that, but why will they vote for you?
Okay.
Vote chori is happening. Okay, so you stop it, you go and vote. No, so why vote for you? So I don't know whether they have been successful enough to convince the electorate to vote for them instead of JDU and BJP alliance. Also, another point that did not come up for discussion was caste census. So in a state where Francis rightly pointed out, there are so many backward classes and the percentage is so high, the caste census agenda, what impact it could have, is something that will have to be looked at. And also Prashant Kishor with his alternative politics of aspirations and schools in every district, upskilling, getting setting a long-term
He's
perspective.
taken all this from the Delhi model, yeah. he must have advised the AAP when he was with them in Delhi.
No, I think
now
he
he's
has,
taken it to Bihar.
I think he has advised a lot of political parties and he's picked up bits and pieces from
the things which work, like the things which work. Yeah. Also, now we're talking about the prominent. Let's get back to online. So
let's have the prominent candidates. So we have Shatrughan Yadav from the RJD, a Bhojpuri actor contesting from the Chapra seat. Then we have Simant Mrinal contesting from Garkha from the LJP party. Then we have Tej Pratap Yadav. He is the son of Lalu Prasad Yadav, who has rebelled, formed his own party, and is contesting from Mahua.
Elder son.
Elder son, brother of Tejasvi Yadav. Then Tejasvi Yadav, the chief ministerial candidate from the Mahagathbandhan, contesting from Raghopur, contesting on his Rashtriya Janata Dal, that is RJD.
The Raghopur is there. This he was, Lalu Prasad Yadav and twice. Then his wife,
3 years,
yes.
and now he's been winning from there.
Yeah.
So that I think is very unlikely. Rabri Devi lost once.
Vikashshil Insan Party candidate Umesh Sahani is contesting from Darbhanga. Vijay Sinha, BJP candidate, contesting from Lakhisarai. Mangal Pandey of the BJP, contesting from Siwan. He is a senior BJP leader and a veteran from the BJP. Ram Kripal Yadav of the BJP, contesting from Danapur. He is a backward class leader. Also, we have Samrat Chaudhary, BJP's leader, currently
Deputy CM.
Deputy CM, big OBC leader, contesting from Tarapur. Then Anand Mishra is contesting from Buxar on the BJP. He is an ex-IPS officer, currently contesting on the BJP ticket in Buxar. Another ex-DGP contesting from Rosera on the Indian National Congress, Prashant Kishor Ravi. Divya Gautam contesting from Digha. She is contesting on CPIM LL, cousin of late actor Sushant Singh Rajput. Mithali Thakur, a prominent name folk singer, BJP's youth candidate, it's contesting from Alinagar. Maithili Thakur.
Maithili Thakur also was a former anchor of us. For a moment, I got a start when I got the name about a week back. I said, "Arey, she's shifted to Bihar." And my classmate, schoolmate.
Okay, so those were the prominent candidates. Now, so we were discussing about the vote share. So let's have that slide, please. Again, vote share. Vote share slide. Okay, so 2020 is what we looked at. So in 2020, BJP and JDU contested together in an alliance, and the same thing is happening now. And RJD contested in an alliance with the Congress, CPIM, CPI, CPI-LL. So the same thing is happening again. Only difference is LJP, which was not contesting, which was not contesting in an alliance, is now a part of NDA.
No, not you. Now, Subhashish, just give us a general this of all the constituencies and candidates and whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so total candidates this time around in the first phase is 1,314 candidates across 121 assemblies, constituencies. Women candidates are now quite low. They're only around 9%, while the male candidates account for around 91% of all the candidates. We have 35% of independents. The rest are in alliances, either the NDA or the Mahagathbandhan, and almost close to 1 in 3 of the candidates contesting in phase 1 have criminal records. Again, the average age there is 47. Wouldn't really consider it youth, but 47 years old. They are not at least above 60. So there are an average of 11 candidates per constituency that are going in for polls in this phase. Now, 91 constituencies out of the 121 in phase 1 are red alert constituencies where security has been beefed up more so than usual in anticipation of some clashes. Then there are 2 candidates who have rape cases on them. We have 519 crore-patis contesting, which accounts for 40% of all candidates. Average assets amongst all the candidates is 3.2 crores, which is not as high as we've seen in other states, but it is there. Highest candidate, the candidate with the highest number of assets in monetary terms is Kumar Pranay, 170 crores net worth. And when you come to education, it looks a bit better this time in Bihar. We have 47% of graduate and above candidates. So nearly 50% of candidates contesting this time's election in phase 1 have done their graduation. Diploma holders account for 1%, 5th to 12 pass is 40%. There are 8% of people who are literate but are below 5th standard. And moving on again, like the main male candidates account for 1,181 out of the 1,314, which is 91%, while women only account for 121 of the 1,300, which is 9%.
Actually, this is something that we needed to discuss. Yeah, we'll go back to your figures, Viraj. But this is one thing. Now, 50% of the electorate is women. Now, a lot of schemes and all, like as we were discussing. But 9% only one. What is the scene? And the Bihar has had a woman chief minister also, Rabri Devi, I think, which is 1-3. Why? What is this a typical central and north sort of this trend?
I think patriarchal setup is more prominent in
Center
Bihar
and
and the central states. So it's not surprising that.
But 9% is sad.
9%
because
is
it
way
was
too low.
the Prime Minister has been shouting about 33%, and even he, I don't know how much the BJP exactly, but 9% is really, really less. Don't you think?
It's way too less, so that has to increase. If not 33, at least it has to be around 20%. So is what I feel. 9 is way too low.
Yeah. So we were discussing the figures. You have anything more to add to the slide, the figure slides? I think we've got like 10 minutes left.
No, so looking at last election data, so last election Congress contested on 70 seats, whereas RJD contested on 144 as part of the Mahagathbandhan. So even this time around, they are contesting on similar number of seats.
No, it's much lesser, no?
No, RJD is 143.
140, but Congress is only doing 50.
No, around 60 they are contesting.
61.
So 61 is still a very big number for the Congress. Because last time around we had seen that Congress contested 70 seats but won only 19. And quite a lot of the seats that they contested, they were not very strong there, and probably a RJD candidate would have done much better. So this time, thankfully, they have quite a few friendly fights going on, wherein Congress and RJD both are contesting, and the left parties are in an alliance this time around as well. Another factor is Vikashshil Insan Party Mukesh Sahani. So he's been projected as the deputy chief minister from the Mahagathbandhan side, a prominent leader, and he's in a caste-based political scenario. He holds quite a weightage there, but how much benefit it will get them,
40%.
Yeah.
I think this one. Yeah.
so that remains to be seen, but a good strategy, I would say, from the Mahagathbandhan. As far as NDA is concerned, they have perfect seat sharing. JDU is contesting on 101, BJP is also contesting on 101 seats, and LJP has been given 28, and the others, HAM, RLM, have been given 6 and 6 each. They are even backing one independent. So there is no friendly fights as far as NDA is concerned. On the other side, Mahagathbandhan has quite a few friendly fights. They are also supporting one independent because RJD candidate could not contest because their candidature was rejected. So RJD is supporting one independent as well. And Jan Suraj Party, what impact it has, everyone is like waiting to see how much of an impact he has, and how much of his strategies and the bits and pieces that he has picked up from different parties, from different elections in different states, how much impact it has and how many seats it gets them.
Impact probably it's already had, but seats, that is to a Francis, one point, like before you go into anything else, now one point I would just think out is that when Sajjan was here, he was talking about that fear factor is not there. Now what we have seen, like say from Goa, Maharashtra and many of the states, western, the trains are packed. The workers, the people who have been working outside, they have gone back to things because they were wondering, if we don't vote, we might get thrown out. So that fear factor is there.
Yeah.
You have seen this?
It's definitely there, 110%. We were talking to few people who are working in Goa. Like there is a construction happening 3 houses away, where a neighbor is building a house. The entire centering staff, which is building the centering material, is from Bihar. So we were just talking to them and asking them and all. They've all taken off and gone for the election. Secondly, they are saying that this, vote not getting registered or vote getting deregistered is something that they are very unhappy about. They are saying that we don't have an option but to leave and come and work in these places.
Yeah, obviously.
Now, once we've come to work over here, just because we are not here, and they use that term palayan, which means migration. They are saying we haven't migrated because we wanted to. We have migrated out of no option. And then for us to lose the power of our vote in our own state, we care about our state, we care about our vote. So, that fear factor is what is driving a lot of them to go back to Bihar for the election, especially to vote and to register their right.
Okay,
to vote.
I'd like to interrupt you for a small, little bit of a breaking news. Subhashish?
Yeah,
I'll go back to
there has
Francis.
been an incident reported from the Deputy CM's constituency where chappals were hurled at his convoy. Now he has he's blamed the goons of RJD.
No, obviously.
So this happened while his convoy was entering the Khoriari village in Lakhisarai. This is one of the prominent candidates that was mentioned earlier, and there were no injuries or anything, but it got a bit rowdy where chappals were hurled at his convoy and the allegations have started flying again.
Francis, yeah, we'll end now. We are almost out of time. So you just finish whatever.
See, I'll tell you, according to me, I was just looking at all the candidates and looking at how they've been fielded. See, first of all, Jan Swaraj Party has fielded candidates in places where both the opposition, the main opposition and the ruling are weak, which is a very interesting thing. They have gone all out to try and secure those. Basically, low hanging fruit is what Jan Swaraj Party is going after. I think this is my reading of the situation. Secondly, BJP is really trying tricks out of the hat. Like Maithili Thakur, for example, has got 15 million viewers on Instagram, right? And overall across social media, she's got 25 million viewers. But that doesn't mean that she can win an election. But they are trying that. Similarly, for example, this Samrat Chaudhary, whose convoy was slapped with chappals, he's a big OBC leader, but in his constituency, they are saying that he's falling weak. And the BJP's, RJD's Arun Shah, who's contesting over there, might win. So, according to me, this the game is on basically. You can't say anything about what is going to happen. And Bihar has always been such a place where, anything is possible. The fact that Rabdi Devi lost for 13,000 votes in her own constituency was shocking. Right?
But that's why I think Rahul Gandhi also lost in
Amethi in Raebareli. So all the right now the game is on. I think I have a feeling that Jan Swaraj will spring a little bit of a surprise, not a big enough surprise to win any big win.
Will it win a constituency? Let's put you out on the limb.
I think they will win a few constituencies.
Okay.
At least some seats they should be able to get.
Okay.
But I overall have a feeling from the laborers that we've spoken to. I haven't been to Bihar I haven't been to Patna in like 5 years. But from the Bihari laborers that we've been talking to, we have a feeling that this time Tejasvi is going to hit the mark.
Finally, yeah. Okay. Now we are out of time, and I would like to finish. Would you guys like to add before we close? For 1 minute.
I think the voting percentage is
What's anything about voting?
No, 5 p.m. has not yet been out, but going by the 3 p.m. figure, I think voting percentage looks very promising.
Okay.
It should definitely cross 60 and might go close to 65 as well, considering the time for closure is 7 p.m. as opposed to 5 or 6, which is there in other states. So we are expecting the voting turnout to be more than 60, close to probably 65. And that's a very good sign. Overall, last three elections.
For democracy.
Yeah, last three elections, we've seen the voter turnout increase slightly. Despite COVID, in 2020, the voter turnout increased. So that's a very good sign.
Yeah, thanks Viraj. Now, Subhashish, you didn't have not too many incidents, surprisingly, because this is with, you said 90 red alert. So anyway, we will be following and giving you updates on what is going to be the final percentage and all that. So this is, I am Glenn Costa, along with me is Subhashish Goekar, Viraj Naik, and Francis Coelho, and Sajjan Kumar from Delhi and Bihar. Thank you, and we will be updating you, so keep watching us till the elections, and on 11th we will be again updating you, on 14th we will be again live for the counting of the Bihar elections. Thank you and keep watching. I'm Glenn Costa for GOA365.